Next, they showcase South of Midnight, which is if you're not familiar with South of Midnight, it is an upcoming third-person action-adventure game developed by Compulsion Games, and previously they've created Contrast and We Happy Few. I don't really know anything about those games or this studio, but what I do know is that I really like the setting for this game. It's set in the American Deep South, and I'm not sure if you've been able to tell so far. I am from the Deep South. I'm from the Deep South, okay? The Deep South. The Deep South, okay? I'm from the Deep South. So, it's not every day where you get to play a game that, where the setting is in your home turf. But it's not just set in the Deep South. It is set in a magical Deep South. So, the game introduces players to a player, Hazel, who's a new female protagonist. And she is a weaver, which is, I guess, the type of character that you play here. She's a weaver, and she's imbued with magical abilities who confronts mythical creatures in this atmospheric, magical American Deep South. So, I will say the setting looked great. Story looked interesting. But the combat, I'm not sure about the combat. The combat looked a bit surface level to me. And it was giving me Hogwarts Legacy combat, which, don't get me wrong, I loved Hogwarts Legacy because it was a beautiful game, and I'm a huge Harry Potter fan, but I'm concerned that the combat in this game might not give us enough to sink our teeth into. It just looked kind of basic and maybe a bit boring, too. So I'm a bit concerned about that. But, for me to fall in love with a game, I need to be completely hooked on the combat, so regardless of what's happening in the story, I could love the story, but if the combat is boring, I'm not going to play that freaking game. I may not even know what the heck is going on with the story. As long as I love the combat, I'm going to be playing that freaking game. So, like, for example, Elden Ring. The first time I played through that game, I didn't know what the flip was going on with the story, but you know what? The combat was freaking good. So I kept on blasting, right? And I kept on dying, and I kept on blasting because it was a beautiful world, and the combat was amazing. I didn't have a clue what was going on with the story, but that's the way FromSoft tells their stories. It's they drip feed you. They drip feed you their story. But yeah, with this game, I'm a little bit concerned about the combat. Now, I could be wrong, but at the end of the day, I'm concerned that it's going to be similar to Hogwarts Legacy, where it doesn't really matter what your build is, you're going to blast over everything anyway. And that's not going to keep me coming back time and time again to a game. It's not going to keep me all the way through a game, even if it is pretty. So, again, we'll have to see. I'm not one to judge a book fully by its cover. I will certainly give it a shot, but I mean, heck, this game is on Game Pass. It's going to be free. So if you want to give it a shot, play it for free. If it comes to PlayStation and I'm wrong and the combat is incredible, I'm going to buy the game and I'm going to play it and I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to support this team. I'm going to support Compulsion Games. But that's my 2 cents. South of Midnight will be available on April 8th on Xbox, obviously free on Game Pass and PC. So we shall see. Let me know if you play it. Let me know if you like it. I would love to play this with you if you love it. God. Just his eyes are just glowing. But if you made it this far, thanks so much for tuning in. This show will be back at least weekly, providing you with all the gaming news that is relevant to you in your world. But if you did enjoy the content, consider liking, subscribing, hitting that notification bell, whatever the kids do these days. But until next time, I'll see you 5 to 9.